So in the basic configuration, I have defined a company. Okay, so define a company. A company is, what is the implication of the company? A company is an organizational unit and it will help to draw the report at group level. Okay, so the group level is nothing but a, now if you can see here, the Britannia group has a, let me go up here. Now you can see the Britannia group has a different or various types of business, like it's a manufacturing business, hotel business, software business, or power generation business. So each and every legal entity wise, they must have to prepare the financial statements and submit the financial statements to government authorities as well as shareholders. But at the same time, the management, Britannia management would like to know what is the entire organization performance. So entire organization performance is nothing but a group level. Okay, irrespective. Let's say that manufacturing portal, they would like to see the consolidation report at group level, not at legal entity level. Company code level. Legal entity is nothing but a company code. Okay, for your information. So for this purpose, we would require is a company. Okay, so that is the basic thing which you need to remember here. Okay, so the define a company. So now note, this is not a mandatory in case of management want to report at group level, then you must have to define a company. Yesterday, what we have defined a company. Now let us talk about I was discussing about the transport request. The moment when I have seen, okay, so I was also talking about the transport request. The moment what we have done the configuration, let's see here. Okay, first let me, the transport request, right? What I have created the transport request. Once again, let's have a look at here what I did the configuration here. Definition, financial accounting, define a company. Even I don't remember, BR 0001, which we already defined here. Let's go back. Okay, I just want to check what was the company which I had defined. BR 001. It is available. Britannia Group has been defined here. Okay, so now the requirement here is that please concentrate. I'm requesting you kindly. This is a very, very critical path here. Okay, so what I have done, this is the company I have defined here. Now, where I have defined here, I have defined here in a client 800. Client 800. Let me open another screen. In short, just keeping side by side. Now, this configuration, whatever you could see here, the Britannia group, which is there under client 800. Do you agree with this one? Everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So the configuration is under 800 client. But now let's say going forward in future, I would like to bring the changes. I would like to transport the changes from 800 client to 900 client. Because see, the configuration, whatever I have done here, no need to do in the 900 client. Okay, again and again, it's a wasting of my time. So that is the reason what SAP has given. SAP has come up concept to call it as a transport request. Display. Let me keep all three screenshots together so that you people can understand. Now, see, First thing is that what I did in the yesterday session, this configuration, while doing the configuration, the system has generated a transport request. Where is the transport request? See, I just named it as a basic configuration of FICO. So this was the transport request which was generated. Now, how you could say, maybe you can ask me, sir, how you can say, because I remember the naming convention. Okay, that is fine. The name I have given. But after that, is there any additional thing which you need to identify? Yes, just click on this one. Click on the details. Okay, so that objects, properties, one second, this sub transport request, one second. Yeah, this one. Okay, see, customizing task, something I have done. Okay, just elaborate this one. IMG activity, define a company. Where I am here? Trading partner, right? See now, let me go back here. Is it define a company? Same, right? What you could see here? Define a company. Define a company. This is the activity which is associated in this transport request. Now, let me elaborate furthermore. See now, this is the table. I'll come there step by step. Now, what I have defined BR 0001. Is it the same what we are talking about? BR 0001. BR 0001 800. You can see what does it mean by 800? 800 is a client which has been defined. BR 0001 is a my company, where you can say define a company under this one, under this transport request. I'll come later, this one. Okay, so parent and child relationship, I will come later. First, let's you people can understand BR001, which is associated in this transport request. So we have tagged this the company code define company code, that step in this transport request. So by doing this one, what I am going to do, the configuration which is there at this moment is under 800 client. Am I right? Under 800 client, where you can see the 800. So in future, if I want to move from 800 to 900, if there is a connection in the sense there is a route, because see now, if you want to go from one place to another place, you need to know the path. So the similar way, if basis team, okay, that is not our job. If basis team has done the configuration, from the transport should move from 800 client to 900 client, then automatically, as soon as once you release the transport request here, once you release the transport request from this client, automatically it will come and it will sit into in this client. Is that clear for all? How to check the transport request? Okay, if you want to double click it here, see define a company, it will directly take you through this one, Britannia Group. Okay, see now it is opening. See now, display the selection object. I'll show you another thing also. See now, directly it is routing. I click the transport request, directly it is coming here. The same, right? Define a company. Let's go back. Now, is that clear for all? If anyone need any clarification, please let me know here. I'm repeating again, very, very important one.
Yes.
Kishore, everybody, is that clear? I'm repeating again, because this is a very, very important one. Now
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to take the screenshot. Okay, 1 second. Let me take the screenshot. Step by step, I'll put it into the Excel sheet. Okay, for your understanding purpose. Okay, I'll prepare this one, a separate step later on. Now, okay, so the transport request. Now, above I have already described. Let me copy that content and let me put it here about the transport request. I had explained. somewhere about the transport request. And we have already seen that one. Go live. Else I will explain. No problem. Okay, fine. No problem. Now, transport request. So the purpose of the transport request is okay, simple words I'll put it, to transfer changes from one client to another client. We can use a transport request functionality. Okay, so okay, yeah. So the transport is a vehicle to carry the changes between clients. Okay, so the transport request is a vehicle to transport the changes between one client to another client. So we understood that what is the transport request, how the transport request will get generated, right? Transport request. Now, we understood that the transport request. Okay, first thing is that how the transport request is going to generate, we have seen this one. Now the next question would be, how many types of transport requests are there? Because we understood that how to find out the transport request, that is fine. The next question would be how to find the, okay, first let us see that how many types of transport requests are there in SAP.
Two types.
Yeah, first let me come. So the transport requests, there are two types of, yes, absolutely, you said. Tell me what are those?
Customized tier,
Hmm.
workbench transport request.
Okay, what is the difference between both? There are two types of transport requests are in SAP. Okay, as you said, absolutely right. Then what are those? Now, number one is a customization. I will show you. Customization request. Let me go back. Now you can see here, I was mentioned, right, as mentioned, Kishore, that there are two types of transport request. One is a customization request, another one is a workbench request, where you can see here. Okay, but where to find that I'll come later. So first one is customization request, another one is a workbench request. Now, what is the difference between? Okay, we are talking about customized request, and also we are discussing about we are also talking about workbench request. Then what is the difference between both? So what is the difference between? So now let us talk about the customization request first. Now, if when the functional consultant will do the configuration, all the changes, all the functional changes are okay. All configuration for all the functional changes, the system will generate a new transport request. Generate a transport request. I'll put it. Generate a transport request. So what does it mean by the customization request? I'm talking about customization request. So what is the customization request and how it is going to help? Now, let's see now. So I mentioned when the functional consultant will do the configuration. What functional consultant do? Okay, so the functional consultant, what I'm doing the configuration. Let's say first, let me select the customization request. Display the one. So yesterday I have done the configuration, right? Basic configuration of FICO. There are many changes I have done. So functional consultant, what they does then generally, they will do the configuration functionally. Okay, they are not going to do any code changes in the program. Okay, because I'm not aware of the code changes, how to do the code changes. Because if you see this one, in order to run this entire screen, okay, let's say I want to create this company code. Let's assume the scenario. Inside of this one, there is a coding, it will be there. Okay. See, inside of this one, there will be a coding will be there. So this code, how they have written, I don't know about this one. Okay. Even being as a functional consultant, I don't understand about this coding. You can see here, there is a lot of code has been written behind this one, but I'm not doing any changes with respective to the code. So I'm not doing any changes, but only I'm doing changes as a front end. I'm doing the changes here only. I'm configuring the new company code. So this is, I would say that it's a functional configuration. Functional is nothing but I'm just creating a company in this configuration step. I'm not doing any changes. That is where I mentioned here clearly, when the functional consultant will do the configuration for all the functional changes, the system will generate a transport request. Is that clear for all? What is the customization request? Now, let's move on to the workbench request. Let's move on to the workbench request. What does it mean by the workbench request? When the technical team is nothing but a ABAP team. Don't forget, okay? ABAP team is doing a code changes in the system. For them, the system will generate a workbench request. Workbench transport request. So they are doing some code changes. I'll show you that one. Okay, they are doing some code changes. Then the system will generate workbench request. See, Now I'm just selecting the workbench request display here. So the workbench request somebody, even I only created. Okay, this is my ID only, S22 user. Okay, so testing purpose, I did few changes. Okay, now so for few changes, okay, I just wanted to see for few changes I did the some code changes because I don't know, but somewhere I did the changes just to show this one. Okay, to show this one only for the coding changes only the system will generate. I mean, sometimes even if you can see this workbench request, if you are transferring the IBAN, okay, IBAN means when you are creating a bank account that will come into picture. Okay, just for your information. Even that workbench request will be generated for functional consultants also. Sometimes if they are creating IBAN, some other information. Okay, that I will show you that one later on going forward. First, understand that one. There are different types of request. I mean, transport requests are there. One is a customization request. Another one is a workbench request. Okay, is that clear? First, types of transport requests.
Clear, sir.
Okay. Now, moving to that, how to find the transport request? Okay, how many types of transport requests are there? Then another the thing is that how to find the transport requests in SAP system. Step by step, we'll learn the step by step. Now, how to find the transport requests? There are two transaction codes are there. There are two transaction codes are there in SAP. What are those transaction codes? Number one is a SE, go to transaction code SC10, or number two is a go to transaction code SC09. Okay, I will show you in front of you. Now, I'm just going out completely. Okay, entering SC10, SC10, the transaction code. It will redirect to your user ID. If you would like to identify your user ID, I mean, under your user ID, how many transport requests are there? You can come back and you can just select the type of transport request display here, so that the system will display the workbench request as a separate, customizing request as a separate. Now, let's move back. So now I am moving back. SC10, we have seen the transaction code. Now, SC09. SC09 also, it will redirect to the same thing. Same thing. There are no changes. Click on the display. Then it will either you can use same workbench request, customizing request. So whatever you want, okay, which transport request would you like to see? You can see here and you can release it. Okay, release I'll come later. First, let's understand how to find out the transport requests. Okay, so now, second, T0. T007, sorry, I'll come later about T007, something it is there. Okay, I'll come later about that one. Okay, now, so we have seen the transport request, how to find out the transport request. So the next thing is how to release the transport request. How to release the transport request. As I said, right, the transport request in at this moment where we have created the transport request, I have created the transport request under 800 client at this moment, right? You can see here. Let me go back if still would like to see SC 10, Go here. Now this is the client, anyone, you can refer it. The transport request which is created under, now under 800 client. 800 client. So it is my, I have logged into 800 client, where you can see client is a 800. Now in future, I would like to move transport from 800 client to 900. Okay. Now how to release the transport request? To release the transport request, to release the transport request in SAP, we have two ways are there. Two ways are there. Number one. Number one is a go to transaction code SC10 or SC09 and release the transport request. Now, as I said, right, go and release the transport request. Let's see in front of you what I am going to do. Okay, I'll take some different transport requests. Okay, because I do not want to release the existing one. Let me do. Okay, I'll take basic configuration of group, right? Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just do 1 second, because I do not want to release others. Let me create one new transport request here. Okay, just creating now. Just 01. Okay, I'm just giving some information to create the transport request only. Okay, India language currency. Enter, then save it. Okay, so here what I'm trying to do, I would like to create a new transport. Okay, just click on new request, create new request. Okay, create new request. Okay, in case, okay, I'll come later about that one. Okay, how to select the existing one, testing. Save this one, this transport request 156, 2556, 2556. You can see here 2556. Okay, now it is generated. Okay, let me save this one. Now I want to release this transport request. How can I release? Okay, now just select this one. First thing is that, remember, note, very, very important one, note while releasing a transport request, first we must have to release the child request, and then release the parent request. What does it mean by child and parent here? The moment when you can see here, this is my main transport request. Under this main transport request, see now, this is my main transport request, 5562556. Under this transport request, you could see the child transport request also generated here, customizing task at the same time. Now, click on this one. Let's say, let me try to how to release the transport request. Select the transport request and click on the vehicle, where you can see the vehicle option. Click on this one. See now what system is trying to say. Referencing task not yet released. So meaning that you cannot release directly the main transport request, because the reason behind that, one main transport request consists of n number of child tasks, child transports. So that is the reason, first you have to release the child transport request. As we have seen, system is not allowing us to release the main transport. Now let me select this one. Let me release the main transport. Okay, let me release this one. See now what system did. Task WALK912557 has been released to request, right? Meaning that now you can see where you can see the checkbox. It's been released. Now, the moment as soon as once the child request will be released, now go back to the parent request. This is the parent and this is the child. So parent, click on the parent request, then again release to the parent request. So now 2556, the transport request, it is not in this list. Where it has gone? You can see I just refreshed also. 2556, it has gone. So meaning that I have released the transport from here to here. Okay, let's see the. Wait a second here. Now released one. Let me display the released one. Sorry, customizing released one. See here it has been released. Wherever you could see the checkbox here. So meaning that the transport request has been released here. Okay, so this is where the first way, number one, which you need to release. First, you must have to see now it is under released status. It is under released status. Okay, so now it is under same transaction code only. Okay, this is the main, this is the child transport where you can see here. Let me copy it and let me put it into the Excel sheet for your understanding purpose, for better understanding purpose. Okay, one we have seen. The first we have to release the child transport, then after that we have to release the main transport. We have seen successfully about that one. Now, as I mentioned, there are two ways, right? Number one, we have already seen. Now let's see the other way. Other way is that now go to transaction code SCC1 and bring the changes into respective client. Now, the other way is that this one. Now, SCC1, the transaction code, right? This is the one of the method. Okay, this is the one of the method how to release. Now go to the transaction code SCC1. Okay, because okay, SCC1 SCC1N. Either you can use, okay, I'll put it here. Either you can use SCC1 or slash, I'll put it here, SCC1N. SCC1N, either of the one you can use. Now go to SCC1 transaction code, but you must have to remember this one. Very, very important one. Note. The SCC1, okay, I'll put it like this. We need to okay, first what we need to log on into target. Okay, first thing is that target client, and then we need to perform SCC1 or SCC1N transaction code. Okay, SCC1 transaction code to move changes. Okay, to move changes. Now, what does it mean by this one? What does it mean by target? Now, where we have created the transport request. Okay, for in short, in our scenario, I'm taking the example. Please concentrate. I'm requesting very, very important one. Basics and all. Without knowing these basic things, it is very difficult for you people to understand. Now, we have created, okay, I'll put it here. Created the transport request in 800 client. Right? The transport request we have created in the 800 client. Now I would like to bring the changes from 800. See, I'll put it here. Just change this one. Now, so in between here, this is the source. Source client. Source client is a 800. Am I right? Then the target client. What is the target client? Is a 900. So I would like to move the changes from this client to this client by using SEC1 or SEC1N transaction code at this moment. So what you have to do? So that I would like to move the changes. In this case, no need to log in here. Here, no need to log in. Okay. Nothing to be performed in source client. Now we must have to log on in this client and go to transaction code SEC1 or SEC1N. So the target system, okay, you must have to log in into the target system. Go to SEC1. Okay, transport request. You should aware the transport request. What is the transport request which you have generated? Go to SC10, then identify the transport request. Right? Let's say this is a transport request. I'm just taking randomly. Okay, let's say that this is the transport request. Give the transport request. What is the target? Transport to target. Okay, transport to target. See now, source client is a 800. Then target client. Here you can see here the target client is a 900. Either the transport type is a workbench request, or you see the transport request type is a workbench request, or it's a customization request. Okay, what is the transport request type? Okay, either workbench or custom. K is a workbench, W is a customization request. Okay, you can select the W workbench, customizing request. So this is my source client. This is my target client. The moment when I execute this one, what system does is a system, if the backend is already been configured, right? Then system will bring the changes from 800 client to 900 client. For your information, very, very important one. Okay. So how to use SEC1 and SEC1N transaction code for your information. So is that clear? The source versus target. What does it mean by what I was trying to explain here? For everybody. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this because see, we are spending a lot of time. So you need to understand going forward, this will help a lot for you people. Okay, in the real-time environment, if you would like to survive, then each and everything, okay, you must have to aware. These are all very, very basics, minimum basic things. Okay, Now we understood that there are different ways are there in order to create the transport request. Now another thing is that the transport request we have seen. Now the table. Now the next one is a table content. Table content. What does it mean by the table content? So now I'll give a practical example. Okay, so now if we are a student, okay, maybe that past 5 years back, 10 years back, whatever it may be, if I would like to write a something, okay, now I have different kind of subjects. Okay, so now maths, science, social, so different kind of subjects in front of me. As a student, what I need to do, so each and every subject I must have to have a separate notebook. Do you agree with this statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The similar way, the similar logic, okay, each and every configuration in SAP, okay, the table content, each in SAP, each configuration is going to store in SAP delivered standard tables. Each configuration is going to store in SAP table, SAP standard delivered. Now, one table, simple, one table consists of n number of fields. Simple way, one notebook can have n number of pages. The simple logic. Okay, so now in SAP, each configuration is going to store in a SAP delivered standard tables. Now one table consists of n number of fields. But how to find out the table? The next question is that how to find out a table which configuration is storing in which table, because there are lakhs of tables are there in the system. So first thing is that how to find out, is there any way? Yes, so there is a way. First thing is that in order to see the table content, okay, now how to find out the table and which configuration? Now to find out, first to access the tables, okay, to see the table content, or information at table level. Sorry, at table level, we have to follow as below. Now, so in case if you would like to find out a table, okay, so first thing is that go to transaction code, SE16 or SE16N or SE11 or SE11N. So these are the transaction codes which are available. Okay, but now let me go to the table content. /n SE16. I would recommend here SE16 or SE16N, use it, but SE16N is a better than SE16. First, let's go to the SE16, the transaction code. Now T001. So I know that, okay, so I know that the table name T001, under this table what it is going to store in this table? Company name, chart of accounts. So all that information, if I would like to know, then they are going to store under this table. Let me execute. See, under this one company code, okay, company code 87S701. Under this company code, you could able to see the what is the country, what is the currency, what is the city, physical year variant. So all that information you can able to see here. Address information, company code, company, chart of accounts, all the information you could see here. So first thing is that I have seen in SC16 transaction code. Okay, SC16, there is no option. Okay, option in the sense now I want to see only the company name information or chart of accounts information. Okay, then what you need to do after executing, you need to adjust the fields. But let's see that SC16N. SC16N. Now you can see the SC16N. You have an option here. Okay, let's say that company code MM09. So what are the fields which you would like to display? Okay, just given the company code and execute it. So now system is displaying this many fields. I do not want unwanted fields here. I want to display only the key, company name. There are few fields I would like to display here. Okay, just select this one. First, deselect all. Okay, which fields you want to display? Company name, city, country, currency, language. You want to display only this many fields. Now, the below fields you do not want to display. Okay, these fields you do not want to display. Just execute here. You can see here. The advantage of SC16 is that whatever the fields you want, you can select and execute it. But SC16 after execution, again you need to adjust. Okay, that is the difference between. But I would recommend here SC16 is the best practice to go and see that one. Okay, now go to SC11. Okay, SC16 we have seen, SC16 and we have seen. Now go to SC11 transaction code. SC11. You can see here database table I was talking about, right? To see the table, you see how to find out the table. Now, one table consists of n number of fields. Now, here if you come here under T001, first system will display what are the fields are available here. But now let me display the SC16N. So let me give a company code. Let me display here. Sorry. So now here you can see here in the SC16N, whatever you could see here. See in SC16N, even you can see here. You can see here the technical name. Okay, technical name is nothing but a field. Same MANDAT mandatory book RS is a company code where you can see. Okay, but now here in SC16N, I'm in SC16. This is a SC16 transaction code. And SC11, what is the length of that one? See now, company code, it is dedicated to company code. It is dedicated to length of 4 characters, meaning that you cannot give more than 4 characters here. System will allow. See now, let me remove this one. Let's say that MM0000. See, more than this system is not allowing more than the 4 characters. So where you can see the length of character, particular field length, what would be the length of the field here? Go to SC11 and you can find out what is the length of this particular field. But while configuration also system will notify, our system will restrict that one. Okay, further information. This is where then if you still want to see the transaction about this table, then click on this one. Then give the company code information, you will get it. But now in SC11, the advantage is that before going to execute that one, what are the fields are available here in this table? Okay, you can very well, you can come back and you can verify it. This many fields are there in the in this table. As I mentioned, one table can have multiple fields. Okay, these are all call it as a fields where you can see the field name. So this is the table. Under this table, you may experience this many fields. As I mentioned, right? So in one notebook, you have a n number of pages. The similar logic